and the 31st.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Alright. Just kind of hoping he'd be here. Oh, well.
Can't think of why we'd all be busy on the 24th. It's crazy.
Or the 31st?
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah, I was thinking like, well, we could on the 24th, but I'm like, I'd rather not, because Christmas Eve, and also I might still be wrapping things. Alright.
Yeah, I have my family Christmas is on Christmas Eve, so I super can't.
Ah.
Yeah.
A comic that I've been following with a friend, the new season finally comes out on Christmas Eve. So when I get off work, I'm gonna just hop on the app and just start reading that until I'm done.
Nice.
Alright, we'll continue on. It's chapter 6. Oh wow, we're already at chapter 6? Damn, flying through. I don't even remember what happened before this. Alright, can you guys see the screen alright?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Varg!
I told you I'd come back for you, didn't I?
Varg taps his cane on the floor, creating a shockwave of powerful energy that blasts us all across the room. The impact of the magic forces me against the wall. I collapse to my knees, pain thrumming in my head. The king collapses somewhere nearby, and I hear the crack of the box as it lands. Okay, I remember where we are. We just found Netherland. The king is giving us the box, and then Varg came in, and it's like, psych! Alright.
Like, this is my box.
And I hear the crack of the box as it lands on the ground a few feet away from us. Walt holds out his hand. I take it, and he helps me back to my feet.
Lucette, are you alright?
Yes.
Oh shit, that's right.
You're every man now.
I am every... I'm so every... I can't remember the line. Whatever. Lucette.
Abby and I could be some of the background men if you want. The king looks at me quizzically, but his gaze does not linger. He looks toward Varg, his eyes narrowed. Did the king remember who I was?
Your Majesty, are you hurt?
The king shakes his head at Waltz before turning his attention to Varg, his eyebrows furrowed.
Who is this man? Your Majesty, this person is working for the Wicked Witches of the West. What?
Wait, what happened to Doreen and Garland? They were just outside the door.
They're dead.
What did you do to them?
They did.
Varg cocks his head to the side.
Who?
Plot twist, maybe they weren't there. The guards just outside the door. I'm sure they must have had hid themselves when they saw the king coming to this room, but they still should have been able to see Varg coming.
Guards? I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about, Princess.
Varg seems like he's telling the truth, but I cannot trust him. Please, let them be safe.
They did.
I see Neverland a few feet from us. I can try to grab it, but Varg will probably thwart my attempt with magic. I have to wait for an opening.
I'll distract him. While I do that, the both of you need to run.
What? I eye Varg. He looks at the three of us with his lips slightly quirked, as if he is amused.
This isn't the time to argue with me, Lucette.
Stay with him, listen to him.
This kind of is the time to not argue with him.
I think we should listen to him. What do you guys think?
Leave.
I've listened to him.
Okay, so we're all in the same boat here.
Yeah.
I nod at him. Waltz extends his hand and snaps his fingers. Hundreds of flower petals suddenly appear in midair. It's like being in the middle of a storm of flowers. Varg looks startled. Varg's afraid of flowers. He squints through the flowers.
You think this little parlor trick is going to save anyone? Go.
Let's go. I grab the king's hand and pull him up. with me towards the door.
Not so fast.
Varg strikes his cane against the floor once more, conjuring a strong wind that blows all the petals away and clears the room.
You know that I'm not letting you get away this time, princess.
The king draws his sword and motions for us to stand behind him. Father, his cane is enchanted. You cannot hold him with just a blade.
Father?
I'm at a loss for words. It's been a long time since I called him that. Much to my surprise, the king's lip pulled into a soft smile.
You said that at the gates that one day, when you were seeking an audience with me. I have not been able to forget that day.
Before I can say something in return, a familiarly smooth voice breaks the ensuing silence. Mithros?
Oh, I wonder where all these voices are coming from. I'm assuming.
Mithros.
Oh, look.
Who else looks like they'd have a smooth but suspicious voice? A familiar man steps into the doorway. He inspects everyone in the room quietly. Maybe Varg, but he's already obviously here.
Mithros. Your Majesty? Quickly, summon the knights. We have an intruder in the palace.
He gestures at Varg, who looks unperturbed.
An intruder, you say?
Sir Mithros turns to Varg. At first, his expression is impassive, but then slowly, his lips begin to edge into a sly smile.
You're such a ruffian, Varg. Look at all this property destruction.
I can only gape at Sir Mithros in shock. If he knows Varg, then he's most certainly affiliated with the witches.
You know this man. Explain yourself, Mithros.
We're all thrown off guard by Sir Mithros' laugh. Soon, his laugh becomes a mad cackle. There's a strange brightness in his eyes that sends shivers down my spine.
I will not do that. My apologies, Your Majesty. I'm just amused at my servant's atrocious behavior. At ease, Varg.
Sir Mithros gestures at Varg, a silent command to lower his cane. Varg obeys him before moving to the corner of a room and leaning against the wall with disinterest.
Don't worry, Your Majesty. You're not the one we're after. What?
Sir Mithros turns his sly smile on me, and I instinctively take a step back.
The princess is the lady we need to escort. Escort? Princess? This girl is a princess. That is correct. It is a shame you can't remember your own daughter, even though she stands right in front of you. Enough with your vagueness. Explain.
The king's grip on the hilt of his sword tightens.
I'm not obligated to explain everything to you. Try thinking on your own for a change, Your Majesty. Mithros.
Sir Mithros ignores the king's outburst and turns his attention to Waltz. He obviously stiffens, and his sly smile contorts into a grimace.
And look who we have here. I see that the traitor has returned to the palace.
Waltz stares at him, looking puzzled. Sir Mithros tilts his head to the side and offers Waltz a lopsided smile.
You still look the same as you did back then. I did not think it was possible for you to grow any weaker, Waltz Cresswell. Mithros. I see.
Waltz suddenly looks melancholy as he stares at Sir Mithros. Waltz, what's going on?
This man's real name is Myth, and he's a witch, same as me. It appears that he's been using some powerful glamour to conceal his true identity. If I hadn't been cursed, I would have been able to tell right away. I would not give yourself so much credit, Cresswell.
Waltz narrows his eyes, but says nothing. I glance between the two of them, confused. But how do you know him?
He secretly worked for your mother, practically worshipped her. I was the only other person who knew of his existence as a witch outside of the Tenenbaron Bear. A witch? I trusted you, Mithros.
The king says the words through gritted teeth, his face contorted in anger. Sir Mithros flicks a wrist as a dismissive gesture, and he looks amused.
What a hypocrite you are, your majesty.
He eyes Waltz.
You're willing to play nice with some witches, but not others. This bias is what drove us witches to madness in the first place.
Sir Mithros faces the king with a grin.
You human hypocrites are so easy to manipulate. It's pathetic. Mithros?
The king charges towards Sir Mithros with his sword held high.
I'm sorry, I can't yell in this house. Also, there's a dog like 6 feet on the other side of a wall. Apparently. Your Majesty, don't.
There's a dog in your house?
Apparently. I found this out about an hour ago.
Are you allowed to have pets now?
Nope.
Or is it just your brother snuck it in?
I have no idea.
Okay. The king's sword never touches Sir Mithros. Sir Mithros only has to hold out his hand, and suddenly an invisible force pushes the king back. He crashes into one of my shelves, knocking down my dolls.
No,
Your
my dolls.
Majesty! I quickly run to his side to help him up. Thankfully, he does not seem to have any major wounds. To think there was a witch working the palace this whole time. And not the good kind of witch either.
I was too careless. Rejoice, Your Majesty. I still have more surprises for you. I will never forgive this betrayal, Mithros. Betrayal? I'm afraid you've been played for a fool this entire time, Your Majesty. My loyalty has always been served to Lady Hilda and no one else. Myth, I can't imagine what you hope to gain from all this. Hilda is long gone.
Sir Mithros' eyes flash as he turns a severe glare on Waltz. His voice is seething with venom when he speaks.
Had it not been for you, traitor, she would still be here.
The king mentioned Waltz's betrayal. Sir Mithros called him a traitor. What exactly did Waltz do?
Everything.
Sir Mithros beckons me forward with a gesture of his hand.
Now, if you please, Princess, come with us if you don't want them to get hurt.
Waltz immediately stands in front of me.
I won't let you take her. In your current form, you don't stand a chance. I will make certain you never break your curse, Waltz. This whole thing was a setup, a trap.
I'm sorry, Waltz. This is my fault.
No, it was mine. The reason we came was to break my curse.
My eyes once again flit to the box on the floor. Neverland is just a few steps away from me. Neverland. Waltz's eyes follow mine to the box. He leans back and whispers to me.
You have to get the box and break my curse.
I feel for the key inside my pocket. If Waltz's true magic is indeed sealed in that box, then releasing it might give us a chance at victory. And Mithros and Wagner seem to have caught on to the fact that the object will break Waltz's curse is right at their feet. Okay. The king moves to stand beside Waltz and draws his sword again, his body a shield.
Your Majesty. I will not let you take this girl. You'll have to go through me first.
You can't do this.
Lucette. I've always loved that name. Thought if I ever had a daughter, I would give her that name. Magic makes even the impossible possible. You must truly be my daughter, yes?
Tears start to blur my vision.
How disgustingly touching. It seems as if I will just have to deal with you first.
No. Rush towards the box at the same moment Mithros casts a spell. Varg lunges towards me, his hand reaching for me. But he's too late. By the time he grabs me, I'm already inserting the key in the Neverland. I give it one defiant twist and hear a click of the box as it pops open. White flashes through the room, blinding me. Suddenly, I feel a strong arm around me, holding me tightly, protectively. When I open my eyes, it's Waltz. Even several years older, I still recognize him. Waltz?
Hey there, little star. Seems like the tide has turned, Myth.
Waltz grins, and I see a confidence in his expression that I've never seen before. Sir Mithros' frown has only become more severe.
Fool. I will show you that I was the favorite apprentice. Be careful not to hurt the princess, Mithros.
Varg's voice is almost teasing, but Sir Mithros does not seem to care.
I didn't plan on it.
Sir Mithros gestures his hand in a sweeping gesture. That is redundant as fuck. Alright, the beginnings of the spell gather at his fingertips. Waltz looks at me and smiles reassuringly.
Now, when I say that I can protect you, Lucette, I definitely can.
Waltz holds out his hand just before Sir Mithros' magic reaches us. An invisible barrier suddenly appears in front of us, thwarting Sir Mithros' magic.
Seems like I'm not rusty as I thought I'd be.
Waltz snaps his fingers and effortlessly creates a dark wave that pushes both Sir Mithros and Varg into the wall.
Grunting noise.
Just grunting noise. Alright.
Let's go.
What do we do now?
The Order of Caldera. They were sworn to an oath of protection. We can rely on them.
Waltz glances down the hallway, his mouth drawn in a tight line. I see clear suspicion in his eyes. I look back at the king. Knights should have been here by now. Surely commotion should have brought them running. Now I know why Waltz is staring down the hallway. He's searching for the knights that are meant to pass through here. There's no possible way they didn't hear the skirmish in my bedroom. The three of us push onward. I stand between the king and Waltz, waiting. I'm not entirely sure what I'm waiting for, but I can feel the tension in the air. We only stop moving when a voice cuts through the silence. Your Majesty. Oh, him. Okay. Your Majesty. Sir Alcaster stops before us, a group of knights. His face is impassive at best. Waltz takes a step back as Sir Alcaster looks to the king. The king is quiet for a few moments, his eyebrows drawn together in a terse expression. He finally speaks.
I'm about to declare a state of emergency. Where have you been? Seize them.
My eyes are still on the knights in front of us when I hear footsteps from behind us. I am nonplussed when a dozen knights appear from the shadows and surround us. I look for Fritz in the cluster of knights, but he's not here.
Oops.
The king stares around him, baffled.
What is the meaning of this?
Could this be the reason why?
What is happening?
That voice. We all turn to watch the dining room doors open. Ophelia enters with Emmeline and Rod.
Oops.
Several knights trail behind and flank them on either side, giving them no room for escape. Rod notices me and stares in shock, but says nothing.
Naro.
Not me.
It was Abby. Alright, the minute she sees the king, she calls his name and intends to run towards him. Knights only need to raise their swords and block her path to stop her.
I think that takes care of all the intruders. Though I'm not happy that 2 managed to escape.
2. Jurgen and Garland? If they manage to escape, they might as well be able to get reinforcements.
The king will be judged and convicted. His crown will be given to one more worthy. I see. It was you who sent that letter, Alcaster. That is correct. Now, if you want to protect your family, you will hand over your crown.
The king shakes with rage.
Was this yours and Mithras' plan all along? To take down the kingdom at its heart?
Sir Alcaster snorts and crosses his arms.
Do not clump me together with that snake. Both of us have different goals. It just so happens that we both needed to be rid of you. What? You are weak, King Gennaro. Kingdom of Angiel needs someone who will rule with an iron fist. You're too soft, and so your subjects have become too dependent on the kingdom. And how do you suppose I run my kingdom? By instilling fear. There is no place for fear in this kingdom. The ruler's obligation is to I don't know or care what that word is, so I'm going to call it a sausage. The fears of his people.
I would think assuage. I don't know. I cannot believe that you would do this, Sir Alcaster. Alcaster looks at me with disinterest.
Lucette, correct? I have no business with you, but I suppose Mithros does.
We've been backed into a corner. What do we do? I feel for my pocket, my hand touching the smooth surface of a vial. I can still remember the potion that Parfait gave me before we left. I've forgotten I had this with me. Parfait told me to use the potion if we found ourselves in a difficult situation. She said give us time to escape. She didn't even tell me what it does. I glance at Waltz, who's eyeing the knights quietly. But it's also possible that Waltz would be able to do something about the situation with his magic. I think we should use your potion?
I mean, this is kind of the point that the potion would be used.
Yeah, because where else is she gonna use it?
Potion.
Alright. We're all on board. Boop.
Ninja finish.
I reach into my pocket and slip the vial out. I open my fingers just enough for Waltz to see it. He gives me a subtle nod before turning his attention to Sir Alcaster, who is still speaking with the king. We didn't get a diamond, I just realized earlier, so I think we picked the wrong choice. Unless I missed it.
Happens.
Oh well. First wrong choice, I think. Make you regret your actions, Sir Alcaster. I throw the vial on the floor. The moment
Ninja
shatters,
finish.
a blinding white light envelops the room, forcing my eyes to close. Waltz grabs my hand and pulls me away.
Don't let them escape.
I hear a few grunts from the knights as Waltz begins to barrel his way through them. Waltz leads me to the throne room. We all have somehow made it out. Rod stands in between Ophelia and Emmeline. Rod must have pretty good eyes to be able to lead them both out there with all that chaos.
Good job back there, Lucette. Never realized you had a potion.
Parfait gave it to me before she left on her urgent meeting.
Oh, there it is. It's a good thing then. You saved me by using it. Using a more complicated spell would have drained my energy.
Why is this happening? Emmeline's eyes are filled with tears. Ophelia takes her into her arms and rubs her back in an effort to calm her.
This is my fault. How could I have not foreseen this? Durian was right about her. I should have listened to her.
This is not your fault, Your Majesty.
We don't have much time. We need to escape and tell Lady Parfait about this.
Sounds like Durian and Garland were able to escape. Is it possible they'll soon bring It is possible they'll soon bring reinforcements.
Rod, you know these people?
Rod is silent for a few moments before nodding at her.
Yes, they're my friends.
Friends. Rod just shrugs at me. More than likely, he just wants us to play along.
Adorable.
Waltz paces the room, his arms crossed as he tries to think of something. Waltz?
I haven't done this in a long time, but I could try to open a portal that leads back to the margin.
Witches can do that?
Only the most practiced witches. Only works if they have a clear image of where they want to go. It's like instant transmission, but worse.
So you can do it.
I can. I was taught by her mother, after all.
Waltz starts waving his hand in front of him as he conjures a spell to open the portal. But the portal disappears as soon as it appears and fades again.
No. Damn it.
They're coming, Waltz.
I'm doing my best, Princess.
Waltz tries to cast the spell again. This time, the opening appears and stays.
I did it.
But this won't be open for long.
I have a strange feeling I was supposed to say that, but fine.
Oh.
I don't know. I assume, but the name wasn't there, so I didn't say anything.
I think
Yeah.
maybe she just knows. Alright.
I assume, but who knows? Your Majesty, you must go first. No, let Ophelia and the children go first.
Waltz nods as he ushers Ophelia and Emmeline into the portal. Though Rod is reluctant to step inside, I force him into the portal before me.
You fucking same. I can't keep the portal open much longer, Lucette. I can manage one more person before I need to recast it.
Your Majesty, you must go.
No,
What?
I do not have any intention of leaving. To leave this place is to abandon my kingdom. I will not flee like a coward. I will protect my throne until my last breath.
But that would be suicide.
That's kind of the point. You will not kill me. You may have managed to sway the order, but I have the people on my side. Killing me would cause an uprising. That is the last thing he would want.
But if the king escaped, he'd be able to fight from the outside. The castle and his crown are symbols, but he's in danger if he stays here alone. I glance at Waltz and notice him paling. I can tell the magic is saping his strength, making him weaker. I ball my hands in the face. In the fist.
I ball my hands in the face.
I ball them into the face of Mithras as a punch. Alright. I cannot leave the king here by himself. He's the king and I'm the crown princess. Waltz, you will come back for me, right?
What are you...
Before he can react, I put my hands on his back and push with all the strength I can muster. Waltz stares at me in horror as he falls into his portal. I am sorry. Waltz disappears and the portal collapses in on itself, leaving me with the king. Both my mind and heart are numb as the nights approach, there we go, ready to surround us. The king and I sit on the floor with our hands tied behind our backs. There are two knights standing by the door to watch over us. I look at the king, who remains as quiet and solemn as before. He's been so calm. Does he have a plan?
Why is it that you stay so chose to stay with me. I can read.
I'm surprised when he finally breaks silence. Because there are questions I need answers to. Besides, I can't just leave you here. I have many things I need to ask you. King Gennaro falls silent as he stares at me. The glow of his eyes clearly reflects my own. I'd never realized how similar our eyes were.
Is it true? Are you really my daughter?
Yes, I was given the fairy tale curse and turned into a peasant. My title was stolen from me and from the minds of the people. No one remembers who I am anymore.
Cinderella.
How did you know?
I've noticed a glass slipper necklace on your neck. But the other slipper seems to be missing a piece.
Piece? I look down and stare at the second slipper. My eyes widen when I notice that the piece is bigger.
Hey.
But when did this happen? I consider and recall the moment before I broke Waltz's curse. Was it when I broke Waltz's curse? That means I only have one more deed left to complete, but my birthday's tomorrow.
Are you alright?
Yes, I'm just worried.
You have been through much today. Try and get some rest. You must reserve your energy.
I'm unsure what he means, but either way, there's no way I could possibly sleep now. At least this is what I tell myself, but as minutes pass by, I feel my eyes getting heavier. Eventually, I drift into a dreamless sleep.